raising women's voices.
One story at a time.
Welcome to the She Said Project podcast. So welcome to the She Said Project podcast, where we get to chat with women who have appeared on stage in a production of That's What She Said, a wonderful live storytelling event that was started by my friend Carrie Rosso, Jill Pierce, Casey Wakefield, over a decade ago. And it was supposed to be a one-night thing, I heard.
Yes, but like many things intended to be a one-night stand, thing, it just blossomed. It wound up, we were in a state of shock. It got done. We spent the next day sort of in recovery of like, oh my gosh, you guys, we did it. And then people were already saying, hey, have you heard of this woman? She should be in your next show. Or are you going to do it the same time of year? And we were like, we're just over here like dying. We can't even believe we pulled off one.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. Awesome, but exhausting.
I know. I don't know how. I do know. You roped me in and I'm hooked. I produce 4 or 5 shows a year now, and everyone is exhausting, but it is that kind of exhilarating exhaustion where you did something big. You did a thing, and it feels really good.
It kind of feels like, this might be being dramatic, but that's just who I am. But it's like after you have a baby and that like you're so happy and you're so exhausted and like, I'm never doing that again. And then a week or so later, you're like, yeah, I'm doing that again.
Yeah, no, that absolutely checks out. Yes, that exhaustion, that exhilaration, that absolute swearing that I'm not going through that kind of pain. But then you forget the pain and you only remember the joy.
Yeah. Are you saying I was a pain?
No, only a joy.
Thank you for lying.
In my memories. My memories.
That's all we choose to remember.
That's all I choose to remember. I have the best gig ever, getting to work with women who share their stories on the stage, getting to empower other women to produce That's What She Said in other communities. So I'm Jeanette Jerzyk, hosting you today on the podcast, and I'm the national director, which is a very fancy title that I gave myself because my goal was to share this creation with more women, leverage what you guys discovered, what we built here in Champaign-Urbana, so that it could grow into other communities and have more women get to feel that feeling, that exhilaration and that pride. I think pride's a big word.
Well, I love that word for so many reasons, but the beauty is, when we started thinking about going to other cities and the worries we had, and then of course now here we are, there's no shortage of amazing women. There's no shortage of women who say, I'll totally take this baton from you and bring it to my own city. It just keeps repeating itself over and over. And it's fun when we get to be on the outside just watching a new set of women swinging for the fences, and that's sports talk, Jeanette. But but it's
no clue
so
what it means,
great.
But that's okay.
Well, in your speak, it does play in Peoria. So
yay!
Yes,
okay, I can translate.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. There are women who've been on the stage. I've sat in the audience. I've cheered them on. I didn't know them before the show, and I don't know them after the show, except for the fact that we sometimes get to chat with a few of them here on the podcast. And it's both magical and awe-inspiring that there's women who've been through this now that I don't know, and maybe I won't know. And it has to grow. I have to, like you, I have to let it fly. I have to let it go so it can grow. But people ask me often, what is the process? How do new shows come about? And it's really been very organic. Like a woman sees a show or has known someone who is in a show, heard about the concept, sends an email, reaches out, we have a conversation, and either it's a fit or it's not. And our guest today is from a show that has a great story, because I got 2 for the price of 1. And I know there's a She Said joke in there somewhere, but I had 2 women contact me right around the same time with the same vision of launching That's What She Said in Naperville, Illinois. And these women did not know each other, so I introduced them. And what happened is they became partners and brought That's What She Said to Naperville. So I'm talking about Ellen Cleary and Lisa Elstrom.
Love both.
Yeah, who are in the family and now have had 2 shows in Naperville, launched Chicago Southland. The Naperville show is actually getting rebranded to Chicago West because, again, there's so many more women, so many more stories. It's coming up on its 3rd year. But our guest today appeared in their very first venture together, which would have been the very first show in Naperville back in 2024. And so Kim C. Wells is joining us remotely. Kim, where are you joining us from?
I am currently living in Casa Grande, Arizona.
What? Okay, I just fell off my chair. Here I am thinking small potatoes. You're in Illinois somewhere. Casa Grande.
I was until September.
So you made a big
September.
move. Well, first of all,
Wow.
welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And to the sisterhood.
Thank you.
And now I'm even more excited to hear your story. So let's start here and go backwards. What are you doing in Arizona?
Okay. Well, if you've been in Illinois more than 1 year, you've experienced winter. That's it.
That's an
No,
understatement.
Short story.
My wife and I have always felt called to, hang out around the mountains and be out west. And we talked about it for years and years. And we finally said, let's do it. And here we are.
You took the leap of faith.
We did. We absolutely did. Matter of fact, today is the 24th. 1 year, 2 days ago, February 22nd last year, we found the spot of land and said, let's put a house here.
Okay, so when I saw that you had a middle initial, I have a theory, like people who use a middle initial are just like cool and mysterious.
Yes, agreed.
So now that you're just like, yeah, let's just go put a house, let's just put it right there. So
just
like the
proved
C is
Carrie's
for
theory.
cool, right? Kim C, cool. Yeah.
I wish.
What is
the
it?
Kim-
What is the C for?
The C is for Cherie, as in my Cherie Amour, which my mom used to call me a lot.
Okay, that's precious.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so let's jump back to how did you get connected with She Said?
Funny story. Ellen Cleary was part of a network group I used to belong to, and she came to one of the events, and at the time she was selling box wine. And so we're enjoying this wine,
I've had some of her wine from her.
They're good.
Box is the brand name of the wine.
I
So I
am
want to be
learning
really
a
clear
lot
about this.
Keep it going, Kim. I'm learning a lot here today. Okay.
Okay, so a mutual friend, the woman that actually started the networking group, said, you should talk to Ellen. You like being on stage. I said, okay. And I trust her. So after she came over with more wine, I'm like, hey, Denise says I should be talking to you. Something about speaking. And she says, yeah, send me a 1-minute video. And I can't remember the exact words, like send me a 1-minute video, and so I get to know you. And I sent the video, and a couple of days later, she's like, yeah, you're in. Let's do this. I was like, oh, okay. So
That was a really hard audition.
yeah.
Wow.
The audition was kind of like off the cuff. I was actually playing with Facebook Reels at the time, so I was in the mood of doing it. And it was, just to summarize that, it was kind of like, if you look at me and you don't know that I've been in a relationship with the same woman for X number of years. You don't know that I struggle with weight. You don't know all these different things about me. And at the end of it, if you want to learn these things about me, it starts with one word: hello.
Oh,
And that
I
was the
kinda
end of the
love
video.
that. Well, I'd put you in every darn show too. I saw that video.
it's one of those things that's so simple but so powerful of a concept. And
Yeah.
you're a networker. You love connecting. And were you
I do.
in the
I do.
branch or were you in Wisos?
Wow. I started off in Wisos, and the one where I met Ellen was a group called Dots.
Oh my gosh, a networking group I
Yeah.
did not know. Okay, gotta get it on my radar. Yeah, Ellen's in all of them, by the way.
I believe
like
that.
she
I
knows
believe
she's
that.
in every networking group in the Chicago area. She's an inspiration. It's true. Did you know exactly what you were going to share when you heard about the opportunity, or did you have to
Not
do some soul
at
searching? Nope.
all.
Okay.
Not at all. Um, it came from, I was part of Toastmasters for a little while because I wanted to be a better speaker. And if you ever join Toastmasters, you have to do certain speeches, and the first one is an icebreaker. And it started off as my icebreaker speech. And I reworked it and massaged it and played with it and, changed a few things here and there and turned it into the edge that everyone saw in Naperville. So it was a process. I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about when I found out I was in. I was like, oh, now I have to come up with something. Okay. But
What was it that drew you in about? So yes, you wanted to learn more about, have a stage to practice your public speaking, but that's what she said is more than that. It's a unique community. And I'm curious because again, we weren't part of that experience with you. Like, what did you hear about it? What drew you in?
um, if you're telling me that there's something that allows women to speak, to confess their deepest desires, to be themselves fully, I'm kind of all in. I want to know more. If you tell me that I get a chance to stand on stage and tell my story, I'm all in because I'm one of those strange people. I like public speaking. I don't do it nearly enough, but I really do enjoy it. I like being on stage. I like entertaining. Um, but more than that, if what I say makes one person say, oh my God, thank you, I needed to hear that,
Mm.
I'm golden.
Done.
I'm golden at that point.
Well, you pretty much nailed it
If I
on the
can help them.
head. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sums up what we try to accomplish. So thank you. You get a
Sure.
gold star. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna sit and enjoy the story that your icebreaker turned into She Said story. We're gonna share it with all of our friends and fans. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Get ready, get excited, because you get to hear another amazing story from a She Said sister. We're gonna enjoy Kim Wells' performance from That's What She Said Naperville 2024. Here is her story, The Edge.
I was born in 1962 on the south side of Chicago. Mama raised me for my first 12 years. She was my 70-year-old great-grandmother. Her father was a slave. Her mother was white. That was a really bad combination in Mississippi in 1892. Thankfully, our family line continued because a neighboring family took her in and raised her as their own. Now, I may not be able to trace my maternal bloodline past Mama's birth, but thanks to that act of kindness, I've been able to experience 5 generations of family in my lifetime so far. Being raised by someone 70 years older with 70-year-old values, beliefs, and fears made my childhood different. Not bad, just different. But I didn't know I was different until I went to grammar school. I just didn't quite fit in. I didn't look like the other kids. Most of them had curly, kinky hair. My hair was long and straight. Because of my hair, I heard what they meant as a slur. You think you're special just because you got Indian in your family. I didn't understand why this was bad. It was true. On my great-grandfather's side, there's Indian in my family. So, my long, straight-haired, Indian-looking self glanced towards the edge. Then there was Mother Dear, my grandmother. She had a huge impact on my life. She showed me what independence looked like. She taught me that if I was going to do something, do it right. From her, I learned to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. At 6 feet tall, she defined the word stunning. Seeing pictures of her with her friends across the US sparked my love of travel. She taught me the meaning of laughter. During those first 12 years, while Mama and Mother Dear did their best to ensure that I had everything I needed, my mother was struggling with alcoholism. Mommy was barely able to care for herself, let alone me. But even during her struggles, she encouraged me to be the best that I could. She told me how smart I was, how beautiful I was, and how much she loved me. At age 13, I was finally able to move in with Mommy because she won her battle over alcohol. She became a bright light in my life that still shines today. She showed me what not giving up looks like. She also became the inspiration that drives me to be me. For Mama, Mother Dear, and Mommy, me doing well in school was the only option. They encouraged me and taught me to think for myself. They made sure that I knew my lessons, sometimes before they were taught in school. They did their best to ensure that I spoke English correctly. You would think this was a good thing, but I didn't sound like the other kids, so they teased me. They said, "You talk like a white girl." For them, this meant I did not conjugate the verb to be in the following manner: I be, he be, she be, you be, we be, and they be. So, my proper English-speaking, long, straight-haired, Indian-looking self cautiously walked towards the edge. Shockingly, much of what those three amazing women taught me became ammunition for others to try and use against me. Eventually, the edge began to look welcoming. I felt like maybe I belong on the edge. So I developed a thick skin and decided to just do what made me happy, or at least what I thought was cool. I wore a brown suede vest with fringes, tied a leather strap around my head, and nicknamed myself Cherokee. And I learned about Cherokees on TV. Because Mommy and Dad were in the Army, I carried my school books in an actual Army backpack that came from an actual Army surplus store. I had the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to wear a hot pink, crushed velvet, elephant bell, three-piece suit with a paisley shirt. It was the 70s, and I will not apologize. I was cool. I wasn't really cool. But I was me. I was my hot pink, crushed velvet wearing, proper English speaking, long, straight haired, Indian looking self, willingly sitting on the edge of fitting in. In high school, with a few exceptions, my teachers were my friends. Students teased me for strange things, like why my nostrils were so small, or my ears so flat. I was that girl that couldn't style her own hair, so I wore 2 braids or 2 Afro puffs every day. It took me 2 years to convince Mommy to cut my hair. I didn't date much. I had one boyfriend the entire time I was in high school. We broke up shortly after graduation. We were close, but there was almost nothing physical between us. Instead of fooling around, we were at the show watching Grease. Again. I frequently wondered what was wrong with me. Then one day I thought, what if there's nothing wrong with me? What if I'm just hanging out on the edge, being me? At age 17, I accepted that there wasn't really anything wrong with me. I also discovered the real reason that we didn't experience the usual physicality that comes with being teenagers. Shortly after graduation, he went off to date a guy. Me? I dated his sister for the next 2 years. Not knowing any other lesbians, once again, I found myself on the edge. My girlfriend introduced me to her friends, but they were too ghetto, and we didn't really connect. The Southside gay bars that I knew of back then were mostly for guys. Once, during a conversation about relationships, a coworker told me that there are no Black or Hispanic gays and lesbians. I tried really hard to explain to her that we come in all colors, shapes, and sizes. Ultimately, I had to realize that I had to let her live in her own reality. Eventually, I found other lesbians I could relate to. They were hanging out in a North Side bar called the Swan Club. Being one of very few Black patrons, I was still on the edge. But I was thrilled to find common ground and other lesbians I could relate to. I still didn't date much. Between the ages of 17 and 21, the total number of girlfriends was 4. But then I met this woman. To quote one of my favorite movies, Desert Hearts, she just reached in and put a string of lights around my heart. Her 4-year-old daughter quickly eliminated any cool points I had previously earned by dubbing me her Kimmy. In addition to laughter and fun, they brought a previously lacking sense of responsibility and stability to my life. This amazing woman challenged me, encouraged me, understood, and loved me. Our deep dive conversations lasted for hours. As we got to know each other, I realized that she lived on the edge as well. Our bond was so complete that I'm convinced we were together in past lives. When I invited her to make our edges one, she said yes. We built our life together on the edge, complete with the ups and downs and challenges of life. When insecurities and doubts plague us, we're there for one another. Last month, we celebrated our 39th year on the edge. When I look back, I realize that a lot of life has happened. Mama, Mother Dear, and Mommy have gone on to the next plane of existence. But their voices, the lessons they taught me, and a generational warped sense of humor live on in me. Today, 62 years of living on the edge has allowed me time to observe, take notes, and learn. I've learned that I tend to gravitate towards those that travel a bit off the beaten path. I realize that the people that I meet in my life are those that value individuality, intelligence, and common sense. I applaud those who dare to be different no matter the cost. Like the salmon swimming upstream, sometimes the reward is worth the risk. I've learned that the edge can be where you find yourself when you think you are the only one. It can also be where turmoil turns to peace. On my edge, I find what makes me unique. I find me. I also find those that get me. My edge is covered with love. So, if you're looking for me, my hot pink, crushed velvet wearing, proper English speaking, now short but still straight-haired Indian-looking self will still be here, happily living on the edge of fitting in. Thank you.
Just your traditional, classic coming-of-age story, right?
That was so great.
Just like everyone else's. Oh my goodness, Kim. I like this place called The Edge. It sounds fun.
It is.
I mean, she uses the middle initial. Her piece was called The Edge.
Cool AF.
Look at us. Yeah, totally throwing it around. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how after the show was over, what kind of feedback did you get? How did you feel about it?
Immediately after the show was over, it took me 30 minutes to get from the stage to the lobby. I had people there that came just for me, and then a ton of people that I knew from WeSos and other networking groups. And they were like, Kim, I didn't know you were here. So the immediate feedback was overwhelming. It was love. It was just love. Everybody was just loving on me. So that was pretty cool.
It's like your rock star moment, right?
Yeah, I guess, we need one of those at least in our lifetimes, but it was a lot of fun. And after the fact, I told variations of the story in a couple of places, at a couple of churches, actually. People asked me one of my castmates actually asked me to come and speak at her church and tell that story. So I did that. And I also told the story at my church. Occasionally I'd go out and somebody would say, weren't you in Naperville back in April? Yes, I was. I heard your story, so just a little bit of recognition here and there. And that was wonderful. It solidified my love of public speaking, and I mean, I knew it was something that I wanted to do. I want to do it again. I'm out here not really knowing a lot of people in Arizona or knowing where everything is, but I'll find my way at some point, I'm sure.
Well, we don't have a show in
We don't have a
Arizona.
She Said show in Arizona
I
yet.
can't do that. I would love to, but
Well, find the
Just
people.
stop with the word but. Yeah, I heard it. She said I would love to. I heard it.
We have you.
We're going to edit that.
yes.
And just stop it right there.
Kim C. Wells, our newest producer. But here's the thing.
Gosh.
First of all, it's not as hard as it looks. And it comes with a whole lot of training and a whole lot of
I saw
hand-holding.
Lisa and Ellen. It looked very challenging.
But fun.
It's fun, challenging.
It was very fun. It was
fun,
amazing.
challenging.
It
Well,
was
when
a
you
great
meet the right
experience.
people, be an ambassador for us and go tell the ladies of Arizona what this is so that they want it, and we'll find a way to bring it there. But and I want to know more about what your plans are in Arizona and what you did in the Chicago area, because I don't even think we covered who you were at that time. But I wanted to learn this concept of the edge. Where did that come from? How did you? It sounded like you created this to define your personal unknown, or your I want to hear the story behind the edge.
The Edge really tells that story. When I was a little kid, I absolutely did not fit in. As a teenager, I did not fit in. I don't fit in now, and I'm 64, but I'm okay with it. It's really weird that I say I don't fit in, because I meet people that don't fit in the same way I don't fit in. So it works out, the edge is where we all hang out. I can be around people my age right now, and they're talking about this celebrity did that and that celebrity and this show, and my interests are just so far from mainstream that it's like, why am I in this room? I ask myself that sometime, but it's usually because I can connect with those same people on a different space, not the celebrity genres that everybody wants to. I got to watch The Bachelorette and see who got I don't care. I don't care.
Well, here at this age, you have this magical thing called perspective, where you are very comfortable in who you are today, and that is so inspiring to see. But as such a young girl, to figure that out, that's the part that I was in awe, that you kind of, at a very young age, figured some things out, that, you looked different or sounded different and people had something to say. But you found a way to be comfortable with it by calling it what it was, or giving it a name. And so did you feel that comfortable then, or is this your reflection looking back?
This is a reflection looking back.
Okay.
As a small child, being teased daily about, the way I talk and the way my hair looked or whatever it was, it was hard as a little kid. By no means am I trying to equate with the type of things kids go through today with bullying, which I think is just absolutely insane. This was run of the mill, hey, funny looking. It wasn't the devastation that teasing and bullying is today. But that being said, it still made me feel some kind of way. It's like, well, how come I can't be over here with these people? A lot of it was my great grandmother saying, no, you come here and learn this, you do this for fun, not being allowed to participate in the reindeer games, so to speak. Um, and it was weird not being part of it, but there were things in my small circle that I did enjoy, so I was okay to be there. I didn't realize that when I said I'm wearing this army backpack, which I absolutely did. I was the only fifth grader rocking an army backpack. When I had my velvet pink hot, it's actually on Facebook, the three-piece suit. Um, when I had that on, I thought I looked good. I don't know if I did or not. It was the 70s, so I won't apologize for it. Um, when I wore that, I think it was also a little bit of rebellion in me. I'm going to be this different person. And then as I got older, I'm like, okay, I was always kind of here's everybody, and I was always kind of hanging out on the edge. I was there, I heard some of it, but I did better over here on the edge.
And the fact that you pushed on, I think it's so interesting that those things happened and it didn't keep you, you were some kind of way about what people thought about how you spoke, and then you wound up being so drawn to public speaking, not just as she said, but other ways. Like, it seems like there were just all these things that could have been barriers for you, and you just pushed through.
I think my love of public speaking probably came from my mother in the strangest place. As my story says, my mother was a recovering alcoholic at one point. And as part of Alcoholics Anonymous, you have to tell your story. And it was years before I heard my mother's story. And when a recovering alcoholic tells you their story, it's how they hit rock bottom and came back from it. So you want to talk about an emotional draw, hearing what my mother went through while I was, with my great grandmother, because she couldn't do it. Um, that was amazing. And my mom always had this voice that she could stand at one end of the room and say hello, and people in the back would come out. Is that Ronnie? Is that Marion? Who is that? Looking for her, because she just had this presence. And I really love that about her. And I think I wanted some of that.
Well, I dare say you take after her, because you absolutely have a presence. And I'm so glad you brought it to the She Said stage. That's exactly where your story belongs. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Kim C. Wells.
Alrighty.
Kim Cool Wells. We've decided. So, Kim, I love in your story when you talked about dating a boy, and it just wasn't working out. But what a funny ending to that story. So he figured out his truth, and you figured out yours, and you got along better with his.
Knew.
Did he? Mm-hmm.
I think he did. Yeah. But we were friends for years afterwards. But yeah, we were the best couple in high school. We were together for 2 whole years. I should have known when we went to see Grease at the theater 23 separate times.
I'm sorry, what was that number?
23.
And you weren't going so you could make out in the back.
Apparently not. He was watching John Travolta.
I was going to say, he was there for John. Hands down.
I mean, there was that black leather suit too from
I am
Olivia.
a Grease fan through and through.
Yes.
Yeah.
The original, I can't help but be. It's it's in there 23 times. And this was back in the day when you could sit in the theater and watch the show multiple times.
Yeah.
So he paid for it 23 times. We saw it. I don't know how many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that is fantastic. So all of that was happening. Did you feel like, or have they ever articulated it? Did you feel like the people around you, your loved ones, knew what was coming and they were waiting for you to catch up? Or did you feel like it was a surprise all the way around?
Oh, let's see. By then, high school, I had officially come out to a couple of friends in high school. My mom knew by then. And once my mom knew, I pretty much didn't really care. Mom had to know, and my best friend had to know. Um, my grandmother, my grandmother, I moved out at 18, and she calls me up and she says, all right, sweetheart. Mother dear wants you to go out there and have fun and be safe and be careful. If you find a boy and you want to marry him, or you find a girl and you want to marry her, and I'm on the other end of the phone going, ah.
She just called it what it is.
She
Oh,
knows.
she just went there. She just went there. I'm like, okay. So I was one of the lucky ones. I had the most
Mhm.
amazing family, and sadly, they're all gone. But I had the most amazing family backing me, and I married into the most amazing family. So it really worked out.
What a gift
Um,
that you got to be who you truly were from day one
yeah,
and didn't have
yeah.
to fight the fight or pretend or
Yeah, and
fake
I
it.
feel so deeply for those, my brothers and sisters that do have to do
Yeah.
that, because it's not necessary. It really isn't. I kind of live under the premise that, oh, I thought you knew. I'm sorry. you know.
Mhm.
It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And you found your person at a pretty
I
young age if
did.
you've been
I was
together all these
22,
years. Is there a story
22
there?
years old. Yeah, it's actually a blog post. Uh, we met at a job. She came in and started working there. We went out to dinner with coworkers, and we just kind of like really hit it off. Our conversation was just flowing. And after pizza night or whatever it was, we decided we need to continue this conversation. So we set a plan to go to some little dive bar in our neighborhood. And before that happened, all of our coworkers are coming up to her. She's gay, right? And Brenda's like, I know.
So am I.
Yeah, but we started talking, and we haven't stopped.
And
It'll
you
be
said
41 years, March
40.
8th.
I love what
Wow.
you said. We started talking and we haven't stopped. And
No, we haven't.
you moved to Arizona together to enjoy better
Hmm.
weather. What are you
Yes.
guys doing there? Retired,
Well, right
working,
now,
partying?
she's about 90% retired. She's a clinical hypnotist, and she's pretty much retired. And
That's fascinating.
I would love to be retired, but we just bought a house. So I'll still be working for a bit. And while before we left Illinois, I actually started a coaching/speaking business that I really need to get off the ground. It's called Empowered Existence Speaking. And basically, I say I coach to empower and I speak to inspire. And that's what I want to
Oh,
do.
wow.
So I haven't done the legalese to transfer it out here yet, but I believe that's my goal. I've been kind of soul searching and figuring out which direction I wanted to go.
Is that what you were
So
doing in the Chicago area?
a little bit, yeah. I was really just dipping my toes in the water and getting started. I had all the legal stuff behind it to do it, in case it blew up and went wonderful. So, maybe it'll go wonderful out here. I don't know. We'll see what life has in store for me. Luckily, I have a job where I work from home, and so I was able to just plug in when I got here. Get the internet installed and keep going. And
Don't miss a
at the
beat.
moment, no, I did. Well, I'm missing a beat right now. At the moment, I'm recovering from back surgery. That was fun.
Mm.
That is not
But
fun.
Oh.
it wasn't, because it was emergency back surgery. Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
wow.
expect it. But yeah, no, I'm doing well. I got my stitches out today, and I'm moving around, and I'm healing. So uh, that is going well. What are we doing? We had our first party about 4 days before the surgery. I had my birthday party. And amazingly, I know enough people here. I have coworkers here. I have about 5 cousins here, 4 or 5 cousins here, something like that. Um, and just friends from other walks of life that I've known that wound up here in Arizona. So most of them came out and spent the day with us, and our tradition of partying, we have a tradition of partying, followed us out here, and I hope to continue it.
I'm hearing the word tradition. I'm like, there's got to be some.
Yeah. We're going to Arizona.
I know. What does a traditional party look like?
A traditional party at my house looks like people I know from all walks of life coming together, enjoying each other's company, meeting people they didn't know, having either a shot of tequila or whiskey or something that floats your boat, and really just connecting and having a good time with each other.
Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a she said way of life. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
So fun. So wait, I missed. What did you do for a living in Chicago?
Oh, was and still am a telehealth concierge for a company called Audio Nova. They owned by a global company called Sonova. They manufacture and sell hearing aids. We have about 415 Audio Nova clinics across the U.S. And my job is to make sure that they are capable of doing your hearing appointment remotely.
Wow.
How do you do a hearing appointment?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Remotely.
Well, the patient goes into the clinic. One of the clinic staff can help that patient. And the provider, or the hearing care provider rather, could be either at home or another clinic in another state, as long as they're licensed where that patient is. And we put technology in the clinic that allows the remote provider and the patient to communicate with each other while they're in the booth with the hearing, with the big hearing headphones on, as they get their hearing test done. And they, in some cases we have cameras set up so they can also see them, and they can see the hearing care provider too. A lot of it, as you might guess, started during the pandemic, where we had to figure out how to keep these clinics open. And this was one of the ways that we did it.
You don't even have to be in the same building as your provider anymore.
No.
Very cool.
Oh.
I can see a lot of doors that would open for access.
Yes.
I'm glad you had the convenience of being able to work remotely. So you got to pick up and move. I know so many people who dream about, living somewhere
My
warm.
job is here. My job is,
My kids are here. All of it. And you did it.
We did leave the kids behind. That was hard.
Okay. Where are they? What are they doing?
Our daughter and her husband, they are living their life. They have a home in Illinois, and they're talking about moving too. We're trying to get them to come out here. We have 2 grandkids. They will be 24 and 22 next month. Oh my God.
The grandkids.
I don't feel old at all. Yeah, grandkids. And we have a 3-year-old great-granddaughter. And she's growing like a weed. The grandkids, my grandson is getting into real estate, and my granddaughter is getting into teaching, and life is good. Life is good.
I don't think it's going to be long before they all pick up and move to Arizona with you.
I hope not.
Or we do.
Yeah, our daughter and her husband came out.
I think she said she has a guest room.
Coming out.
I think you said you have a guest room, right, Kim?
I absolutely do.
Carrie and I are
We have the
packing our
potential
bags.
for 2.
Oh,
let's go.
She made room. Well, we'll take a business trip to go check out the theaters and start. That's what she said. What part of Arizona are you in?
I am in a small town called Casa Grande,
which means large house. If you speak Espanol.
Look at you.
Yeah.
We are about an hour south of Phoenix.
There it
45
is.
minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Phoenix is a great city. It's a great time.
It's beautiful.
Have you been?
No.
Arizona? No. I mean, the Southwest is.
I mean, I've been to Arizona, but not Phoenix.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What was it about?
Yes.
I mean, did you know anyone there? What was it about that city, that state?
I have a cousin in Phoenix. I have another cousin and his family in Scottsdale. And truthfully, I honestly couldn't pinpoint what made us pick Arizona. I know years ago, and we've been talking about moving for 10, 15 years easily. I know one day we were like, where could we move? Where could we go? And we just kind of like, Arizona? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. It's beautiful out there. And, we kind of tossed it back and forth and talked about other states. We looked in Vegas. We looked all over the place. And we just kept coming back, Arizona. So It's like, okay, now we need a realtor. So my cousin knew a realtor and she helped us find where we are now. And it just, everything just fell into place.
And you said you
We were
bought the land
tripping.
first and then built on it?
Well, no. I mean, you know how you go and you talk to them and they say, okay, we're building a lot here, 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 and here. Which lot do you
Uh-huh.
want? So we picked the lot and the house we wanted, and they put it on this particular spot. Um, yeah, it was so crazy how quickly it happened because February 22nd, there's a picture of us holding the lot with the address, looking goofy. And that's how we told people we were moving. That didn't go over well. They were a little upset with us.
Yeah.
Just a
But
picture.
yeah, just a picture like, hey, we did this today. What do you mean? What are you talking about? We still have people that are upset with us, but they still love us. It was kind of a love-hate relationship. It's like, God, I'm really happy for you. I hate that you're leaving. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was a lot of that. And from the moment that was February 22nd, I think they broke ground mid-March. We closed in August. It
It
was
moves
Wow.
so quickly.
It's
it was
fast.
Well, it
very
moves
quickly.
quickly when the weather doesn't prohibit construction. You
Yes.
can't do that in
Yes.
Illinois because,
No.
you start digging and then Mother Nature kicks in. All right,
Yep.
Kim, we have just a few more minutes. And so tell our friends, what do you feel, what is the edge to you today? Are you still living on the edge? Are you still like, what would you
Most
tell a young
definitely.
person who was, looking around and not feeling like they fit in?
I would tell them that you may not fit in with what you see around you, but I would ask them what you're doing. Does it speak to you? Does it resonate? Does it make you happy? If it does, embrace it. Embrace it. That's what I did. I embrace my weirdness, that some people seem to think I was weird. Others think I'm just me. But embrace who you feel you are. I'm one of those follow your dream people. It may not always work out, but you don't know until you try. Don't ask, what if it doesn't work? Ask, what if it does?
Mhm.
And isn't it fun to watch? Now I'm making us sound like we're a bunch of like 90-year-old women looking back, but isn't it fun to look back and think just in our generation how different it is? I mean, they also have a lot more challenges that we didn't have, but
Yeah, they do.
especially surrounding the whole following your dreams and coming out and being true to yourself. It's so fun to watch that
Yeah,
shift that has
yes.
happened for them.
I'm on Facebook and I see reels with these young Black lesbians, and they are just embracing their life. It's like, this is my wife, this is my girlfriend, and we're going to dinner and we're holding hands. And I don't know if they understand that 20, 30, 40 years ago, they would have gotten beaten for that. They could have gotten arrested. All these horrible things could have happened. And I'm so glad to see them being as out, as proud, as free as they, are. And I am not crying. I really not. But it's amazing to see the freedom with which so many of them live now. And there's still some that are scared and closeted and going through hell with families. And those are the ones that I want my words to reach when I do speak, and let them know that it's okay to be you. You might not fit in, but you're where you're supposed to be.
And I see coaching and speaking in your blood. As soon as I asked her the question of, how to inspire someone else who has a similar, I mean, you turned on the coach voice. Did you hear that? Like your whole demeanor changed. Like, okay, here's what I would say. And you turned on your very gentle coaching voice because you want to bring that encouragement. And I felt that and I heard that. So good job, you. I want you to say it again. What was the name of your coaching and speaking company?
Empowered Existence Speaking. That is the very long name, the very long website, Existence
Well, here's the
Speaking.com.
thing, Kim, you're on a podcast. There are people who are going to hear this. How can they find you if they want to learn more?
If they want to learn more, my website is in, I won't call it disarray, but they moved me from one platform to the other, and I haven't fully updated it yet.
Well, what about
But they
LinkedIn? Can we
go.
find you on LinkedIn or?
You can find me here. Here's a phone number.
Well,
You
let's
can
not do
find
that.
me.
Let's not do a phone number.
No,
But
okay.
like, where could someone
That's better.
find you on the socials?
Um, The best way to find me would be my website. I can give you my blog and my business website. The blog site is Kim at, and that's my email. The blog site is kimcwells.me. M-E.
That's what I'm looking
That's
for.
fitting.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
Where are all the
And-
things Kim C. Wells? Yes.
Yeah. And the business is empoweredexistencespeaking.com.
Because of what you lived through and these epiphanies that you had along the way, you're at a point in your life where you get to share it and you get to turn the mirror back and pay it forward, I guess. I bet there's some young people in Arizona who are going to be pretty lucky that you are living there now.
I hope so. I'd love
And there
to
are
help 'em.
stages. Look around. I mean, I know that's what she said isn't there yet, but I mean, there are stages in Arizona. You're in Phoenix. Look up the local TED community, TEDx. You know, there are storytelling groups. Find Toastmasters again.
Yep.
Don't wait. Here I'm going to turn on my coach voice to you because
All right.
you got something to give, and you know, we only have this one wild and precious life. So
Yep.
So go do it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then report back so we can be part of it.
And report back. Okay.
Here I am
can do
pressuring
that.
poor Kim. You just had back surgery, and I'm like, go change the world.
I will.
No, thank you for making time to chat with us today after this very serious surgery. And I hope you're feeling your best. And I
I'm
hope
doing
for a
good. I'm doing really good. It was a little
easy
over 2 weeks
recovery.
ago. I'm good. So far, so good.
Okay. Well, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
So would you do it again, Kim? Would you take the stage?
Would I
That's what
do-
she said.
Oh.
One more time.
Yeah, can I?
We're going to figure it out. I think that's
Okay.
the
I'll
solution
have
here.
to find a different story to tell. I'm sure I can find enough. There are a couple of updates that I found out about the Edge that really upset me. I don't know if we have time, but very quickly, we did the DNA thing. There's no Indian in my family. And my entire
What?
life, my entire existence, I grew up with Indian in my family.
You dropped
And then
this bomb.
Ancestry-
You buried the lead. You dropped this the last 10 seconds. You got to come back now.
Well, there it is. You
Well,
you
it'll have
lived
to
on
be
the
in
edge.
next story.
Stay tuned.
And we will stay tuned. ... Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on the She Said
Thank
Project
you.
podcast.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the She Said Project podcast. All materials contained in the podcast are the exclusive property of the She Said Project, and That's What She Said LLC. For more information on our live shows, go to shesaidproject.com.